what to expect when you go to New Orleans. There's always something different coming around the corner. Like, this is a voodoo queen. There's a lot of voodoo going around down there. Like, a lot of tourists love to do that. It can be, well, traveling to a new city, period, could be scary or exciting, depending on your perspective. Why should you listen to me? Well, I've been to 2 different countries, 15 different states, and I've been to New Orleans 9 times. So I find it very different from any other place that I've ever been. Alright, so this brings me to my first point. It's more than just beads and Bourbon Street. History is spooky, but also very interesting to the public. The ownership has changed over many years for New Orleans. In 1718, the French came through and decided to claim land. Over a period of time, when it came to 1762, they formed a peace treaty with Spain. This caused a lot of trade with Cuba and brought a lot of people of color to the city. And this caused, well, actually, in 1803, it reverted back to the French, but after a few fires, the French started building more buildings, which caused the architecture to blend, as well as the accents and slang. The ghost stories formed, well, that's found up on history.com. And the ghost stories have been formed over many years. There's actually a haunted history tour that brought you around the city and told you about all these different ghost stories. One that stuck with me was about a teen girl who had a very wealthy family and strict parents. She wasn't allowed to see boys, so when she met one, he climbed up her balcony to see her. But unfortunately, her father came home early and started rushing up with a shotgun. The boy quickly tried to go out the balcony, but slipped and tore his torso on these spikes right here. And now he haunts that building today. The cemeteries, as you all know, are above ground. They're very different from anywhere else. The reason for that is back when they tried to build their first cemetery, they couldn't dig more than a couple feet without the soil getting soggy. So when the city flooded, which happened very often, the bodies would float to the top and float down the streets, which couldn't have that happening. So they built their first above-ground cemetery in 1789, which was found on FrenchQuarter.com. Okay, so a lot of ghost stories that are passed down from generations, so our recipes are passed on to friends and family. Their food is a very big part of their culture. It is unlike anything else, which Cajun food is the name for it, and you've seen it in many other restaurants because, like I said, it's like nothing else. So a lot of people like to serve it, even though it doesn't taste anything like New Orleans food. But the slang accent is very different. I can't say country accent because it's not a country accent. It's blended, and it's really hard to explain. But when you go down there, some people don't have an accent at all, and some people you can barely understand. It really depends on where the person comes from. Jazz music is a big part of New Orleans. Like you can see here at the church with myself, they will basically pick up anything and make jazz music. They made their drum set out of a suitcase. So it's nearly impossible to walk out of your hotel room and not hear music on every corner. Another interesting thing is they play music at funerals. Not because they're happy the person is gone, but because they're happy that they got to spend the time with that person. Jazz music is a very important role in their events as well. Mardi Gras is one of the largest celebrations in the U.S. for New Orleans. Schools get out a whole week just to celebrate this particular holiday. There are ginormous floats and beads, and it started around the 1730s, but not Mardi Gras itself, but celebrating in New Orleans. Everyone is expected to wear a mask, but they don't. So there's also king cake, Fat Tuesdays, I'm sure y'all heard of. And there's a little plastic baby that is put into the king cake, and whoever gets that slice with a baby in it is considered good luck. New Year's is the second largest celebration in the U.S., aside from New York. They have fleur-de-lis drop, just like the ball drop, off the top of the building. They have fireworks, live music, which is free, and parades, just like Mardi Gras. I know this because I've been there on New Year's. So every holiday in New Orleans will be, without a doubt, a memorable one, just like my speech. And conclusion. So the history of New Orleans is a little bit well known. I just told you a little bit about it, but it was far from all of it. The culture is mostly dealing with the food, music, and slang of New Orleans. And the events that are celebrated in New Orleans will be a memorable one. New Orleans has more to offer than just beads and Bourbon Street. It holds a history culture and like all the kinds of events that I can say for myself will be memorable because I've been there for 3 different events. And I've been there 9 times. Including the events. So, that's it.